Yes, indeed. Welcome to Vegan Intel. Yes. Welcome to Vegan Intel. We are on something. I am really trying to push health over here hard. It's a new channel. And I'm really trying to push health hard. I'm getting a lot of messages from people that's not feeling well. We have serious problems in the community. I'm searching the media, the internet, and stuff, and health issues for Americans is not looking well. Social media does have a nice, strong plant-based movement going, that's for sure. That's a beautiful thing. Social media has a nice, strong plant-based situation going, but it's not crossing over to mainstream. And if it's just frustrating because from generation to generation, we pushing the same food. and the same behavior and totally ignoring the downfalls to that food and that lifestyle where you don't exercise. It's just amazing. The, I put it to you like this: we have a lot of people that's pushing to eat right. We have a lot of people that's pushing go plant based, eat more fruits and vegetables, even if you don't go all the way plant based. Cut back, get off of processed meats if you can. Cut back on artificial flavors, coloring, all the chips and junk. Try to eat more healthier. We got people pushing that. But when you look at the push, even though it's getting bigger, and then you go back and you look at the community, you don't see it. It's like two different worlds. It's like it's a world over here where they saying all this stuff, but when you go back into the real world, they're not saying none of that. It's not crossing over into the community like that. I just watched a sister from Chicago, and she did a conversation about um, when you come to Chicago, where to go and eat. It was all bad food, a whole list of food that people shouldn't be eating. And it's just like people refuse to accept that food is no good. They refuse to accept it. Now, when I first went plant based in 1978, 78, 88, 98, it made sense that people didn't eat better. It made sense because how are they going to know? How are they going to know? There was no. You had to go to ABC, NBC, CBS, and stuff like that because Facebook wasn't really crossing that line. I mean, even when Twitter first started, it wasn't pushing that line. When Instagram first started, it wasn't pushing that line. But now, when you go on TikTok, when you go on Instagram, when you go on YouTube, when you go on Facebook, there's a lot of people pushing fitness and cleaning up the way you eat. So then when you see a whole lot of people not doing that, it's clear it's not crossing over fast enough. Now, foundational Black Americans are the fastest growing group when it comes to changing the way you eat. And I do overstand because we don't stand under, so we don't understand. We stand on top. So I do overstand that some people feel like it's a battle. They feel like it's a battle, vegan against meat eaters. And that causes them to want to fight for their side, like it's my side or this side. Then there's a lot of people that go vegan, don't do it correctly, don't take in enough nutrition, and have to go back. Then there's also people that go into it and can't handle it, and they go back. And so when people see that, they go, see. There's people that go plant-based and get sick, and then they go back. But they didn't get sick because they plant-based. They got sick for the same reason they was going to get sick anyway. They just probably got a different sickness than they would have got. But when you got people that's talking about live your life, enjoy their life. They're going to the steakhouse. They're going to get lobster. They're going to get seafood. You got that group. You got this group over here talking about eat plant-based, eat right. That group. Cool. This group and that group. But then there's another whole group, a whole bunch of social media posts about all these people with colon cancer, diabetes. And so those three different sections is interesting because I can kind of see that if you're just eating a standard American diet, how you won't necessarily be moved by somebody say they plant-based. I don't see how you don't see all this diabetes. You don't see all these people falling out, all these people with cancer. That's the part I don't see that. I don't see that part. That's the part that's really strange to me. Because people try to say it's two groups. It's not two groups. It's three groups. It's three groups. It's the plant-based vegans. It's the people eat regular. And it's a group of people sick as a dog. Constantly in surgeries. Constantly passing away. Famous people. Gone. 50 something. Gone. Now, in some ways, I do understand that because if you're young in your 20s, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, and somebody passed away at 50, I could see how that would be somewhat not as alarming to you as people like me. Well, wasn't nobody passing away at that age. Nobody passing away at no 50. No, people wasn't getting no colon cancer at no 45 years old and nothing like that. That was unheard of. Even older people didn't get colon cancer till they was like 65. You hardly ever heard somebody talk about colon cancer. Diabetes. You didn't hear that much about no diabetes. You did not hear nothing about diabetes like that. And down south, they used to say, you got sugar. People had it, but not like this epidemic of diabetes now. And you sure didn't see no overweight children. There was no overweight children. That did not exist. There was no such thing. There was no chubby children. You had a couple of children of what you would call heavy set, but they wasn't fat. That had never existed. At a whole grade school, it might be one child that you might consider fat. That's for real. You didn't have no, man, when you went outside, children running and ripping, you didn't have no chubby children that couldn't run. There was not one boy that couldn't play baseball. There was not one boy that couldn't get on the basketball court. Not one. That's unheard of. Everyone play basketball. These is facts. It was nothing like that. Every little boy got a bike, riding it fast. The only children that might be a little chubby and not doing nothing is son that's got like certain mental issues. So they're not really that physical. They can't really leave the block. Their mama got to watch them. They might be a little pudgy, but not fat. They'd be a little bit bigger than the other children, but they wasn't fat. There was nobody that was too fat to run when we playing it, or that never existed. Never. There was no whole bunch of overweight boys going out for the football team. That never existed. Where he big and overweight and he get on the football team and they trying to get him in shape? Never existed. So then it gets to a point when you see all of this sickness, and then you still see people still promoting the same food. It just, I don't know what to say. It's just, it's sad. For me, it gets to the point where, you actually know you're watching people promoting something and you actually know that they are going to be sick. And that's hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with seeing people actually, where they're headed. What I mean by that, it used to be a time where whatever you ate, and you went plant-based, you ate a lot of bacon and stuff like that, we couldn't really see where you was going. Because for one, we didn't have social media. For two, no matter how much meat you ate, no matter how many eggs you ate, everybody still ate a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruit. Period. But eventually we went into a different type of food. You got to understand that Black Americans didn't eat a whole lot of spaghetti and meatballs. Spaghetti was every now and then. Black Americans didn't eat mac and cheese hardly at all. Maybe some states where it was the thing, but typically Black Americans mothers did not make mac and cheese. Very rarely, maybe on Christmas, somebody might make it, or Thanksgiving. The replacement for mac and cheese was potato salad. Potatoes, you know how you got that mac and cheese is that, that yellowish color, Well, back in the day, that would be potato salad. That would be on your plate that wasn't green or wasn't meat. You have beans and stuff like that. But the equal to mac and cheese is potato salad. And knowing the texture of potato salad and mac and cheese, potato salad is by far going to be less fattening than mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is, you know, it's just thick and, you're going to eat that. That's not easily digestible. Cheese is cheese, and macaroni is, so there's no moisture in mac and cheese. Once you eat that, that's going to just, become a lump in your stomach. Potato salad's going to still break down. The mac and cheese not going to break down that quick like that. So you figure you ate some mac and cheese, you ate some meat, and you ate some bread. You basically made a concrete block in your stomach. When that gets in your stomach and all the moisture pull out of it, that's going to be a concrete block. And ain't no moisture in it, so it's just going to be, your colon, it's just going to be a big old lump in your colon. You trying to push it through. So it's just, I seen it. What made me talk about this is I seen a young lady and she was telling people when they come to Chicago where to go eat at. And it was crazy. She sent them, she didn't send them where they can get no healthy food. She sent them with all trash, pizzas, chicken, Polish sausage. That was her whole list. I said, wow, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So there's like summertime health impediment where it's summertime and it's like when you look at it strategically, it's bad. I don't think nobody really look at the whole calendar, right? Like right now it's June. So everybody finna go out and barbecue and drink and eat a whole bunch of barbecue meat and stuff like that, right? Okay, cool. It's June. It's towards the end of June. They finna really turn up. It's finna be the 4th of July. They go eat the most of that stuff July and August, right? So look at it like this. Then September gonna come, and October, then November. When you start getting close to like Thanksgiving, they're gonna eat a whole bunch of stuff November. When they eat a whole bunch of stuff November, then they're gonna eat a whole bunch of that stuff December. Then January, you got the Super Bowl and all that, and then they're gonna keep that same trend, right? Where they eating the winter and the fall food. So just winter and fall, they're gonna eat all this stuff, right? You're gonna go through the eating season. And the eating season gonna be November through February. Now, once you stuff your stomach and eat that, you're gonna still be now you're gonna go back to your regular eating, which is gonna be the burger spot, Harold's chicken spot, right? So you're gonna go from all of this, then the regular way you eat is the same way you're gonna eat the holiday eating, just a different. You eating turkey and ham and all that. You're gonna go from that straight back to fried chicken, and you're gonna be eating more because you're gonna stretch your stomach. Everybody know. I grew up eating meat, so I know what I'm talking about. So once I eat all that food, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I really be greedy. January. So then you go back and you eat the same thing. January, February, March, April, May. You eating the regular bad food that's sold at the fast food and stuff you cooking. Then summertime come, and now on top of eating bad, all the way November, December, January, super bad, a lot of stuff. Then almost the same thing after that, because you going back to your fast food and all that. And then you turn up and start doing this. So technically, you really don't get no break. You get no break because you're going to do this all summer. You're going to go out and barbecue. You ain't going to just barbecue on the 4th of July. That next week, you be like, man, I'm going to set the grill back up. So you're going to do that all summer. Then you're going to stack all that turkey and all that stuff back on your body again for the winter holidays. On top of the Halloween candy and all that, then you're going to have all that Valentine's Day. So it's like constant from this type of bad food to this type of bad food to this type of bad food to that type of bad food and back to this one, that one, and it's constant. There's no good food. And when you go out this holiday and you go to all these parks and stuff, they're going to have a grill full of nothing but meat. They don't be having no vegetables out there. I mean, none. I grew up in Chicago. I'm a Black American. I'm foundational Black American. I grew up like that. It went like this. It's the 4th of July. You sleep, you a kid, you like 9, 10. You hear your mama. She in the kitchen. Most of the time, the daddy's doing the barbecuing if you live in a two-family household. So mama's prepping Daddy's getting the meat ready. Daddy's getting the barbecue sauce ready because he wants to make his own barbecue sauce. And mama's up finna get all the side stuff together. This is how my childhood was. So you get up because you hear the family up, you wake up, you spring ready to go. You put on your clothes, you finna go outside and run up and down the block because all the children run up and down the block while the parents is in the backyard. If you live in a neighborhood where it's houses like I did, everybody's barbecuing. So all the children's running up and down the block. So the way it used to go, y'all, is the daddy get up, he get the grill going. But he don't cook the ribs. The first thing on the grill is hot dogs and hamburgers for the kids, for lunch for the kids. Because the meat they cooking, that you ain't gonna start eating that till about 2, 3, 4 in the evening. You don't eat that as soon as you get up. Right? You don't really eat the parents don't really eat no breakfast or nothing on that day. Daddy don't eat nothing because he constantly tasting the meat. You know what I'm saying? So daddy at the grill, so he been tasting, everything he been cooking. So he definitely ain't hungry. So they got the buns and all that. So you get up. So first thing, the hot dog. Boom, they hit you with the hot dogs first. This is how I grew up. Then they hit you with the burgers. Now you're not hungry. You're not hungry, but just for the fact they making it, what you do? You eat it anyway. So you just had a hot dog. Boom, you come back, you get a burger. Just because it's there. This is gluttony. Then, back in the day, they got 2 or 3 cases of 24 sodas. You know, the sodas in the little cut-off box. So you drinking sodas all day. It's like a free day. Any other day, you're going to go in the house, you're going to get 1 soda. You can't run back in there and get another soda. But on the 4th of July, you can drink sodas till you turn blue. Because by the time it get 5 o'clock with the children, it'd be a whole bunch of sodas on the tables in the backyard that's half drank. I remember my daddy be like, y'all just keep opening sodas and drink a third, 2/3 of it or half of it, then go get another one. And the bees, you ever pick your soda up and a bee fly out? Because the kids just be opening them and don't finish them. Because like it's a free day. So you're drinking all this soda. Boom, you run through the hot dogs. Then boom, he hits you with some hamburgers. So by the time you get to about 2 o'clock and you a kid, you don't even eat like that all the time. You don't eat like that. So now on 4th of July, you already eat more than you regularly eat in the household. You a boy, you done ran through 2 hot dogs and you done had a hamburger, which you'll never have in regular life. You'll never have that by no 2 o'clock in the evening. If you was in the house, you would have had 1 hot dog. If you're a growing boy, maybe 2 and some chips, and that would have been it. You wouldn't have had no hamburger. You wouldn't have got no hamburger. If you had a hamburger, you wouldn't have got no hot dog. You ain't getting no hamburgers and no hot dogs, but it's 4th of July. So you knocking that down. Now daddy throw the ribs on there and the big Italian sausage. My daddy would throw the big round thing of Italian sausage on there. Now you waiting on that. You waiting on that. So now you barf that down. You a kid. You barf that down. He trying to make a whole lot. So then he have some in the refrigerator for 2 days afterwards. And my daddy would get these rolls, that you put the Italian sausage in. The bread roll that you slice and open it up, right? So you're supposed to go get cut. He got a long thing of Italian sausage. You're supposed to get Italian sausage about this big. And then he got the long roll. So you're supposed to cut you off a roll about that big and put the sausage in it. What I do? I go cut the bread like this, and I cut the sausage like this. Every 4th of July and all them Labor Day and stuff, my daddy complaining. That's this boy. Boy, why you eating up all the sausage like that? I done got what you would get in 2 sandwiches. I done made 1. Gluttony. I'm finna barf that down, then I'm finna barf some ribs down. I ain't finna eat no more hot dogs and hamburgers once the ribs and the sausage get ready. It's a wrap. And then he got the barbecue chicken too, which I didn't go back and eat the chicken because the main food for my family was those nice Italian sausage and the ribs. So a lot of times, a lot of the chicken being refrigerated for the next day. But the adults eat the chicken. The adults eat the chicken and the ribs, right? Some of them eat a little piece of the sausage, but they mostly eat the chicken and the ribs. The kids, we was eating the sausage and the ribs. We wasn't really doing the chicken. You know what I'm saying? But over 3 days, we done ate all that meat. We didn't put all that in our stomach after 3 days. I remember being a little boy in the restroom, in the bathroom at the house. I remember sometime my mama come knock on the door. You all right in there? And now that I think back, no, I wasn't all right. I'm in there on this toilet trying to get all this stuff out of my body. Sometime when I would pass waste, it would be so long that when I flushed the toilet, the water would run down the side of it and it would just be sitting there. That's why we had plungers. There's plungers in the bathroom because your colon already be stopped up, but you're so young, it still eventually come out. But you can look at it and tell that eventually that's going to start staying in your stomach and you're going to put more in there and then it's going to push it out. It ain't going to come out on its own. You're going to be putting more food in there, right? So you're going to be eating like this. This is how you're going to be eating. And it's going to be in your stomach like this. And then this going to come out. And then all this going to stay. And the only way this going to come out is you what? You eat some more food and then they push that out. And then that's still in there. That's what's going on right now with the colon cancer. When people go into the restroom, the bowel movement they're having is from the new food pushing out the old food. Then it get to the point where you eat so much it don't push it, so now it start going to the side. Now you start getting real fat. Now you got 2 pounds of waste in you, 3 pounds of waste, 4 pounds, 10 pounds. When John Wayne passed away, hold on. Look, 'cause I don't want y'all to think I'm kidding. Look, you don't get it real. You don't get it this real nowhere over here. Look. Look. Oh, they said he did not. This is a rumor that's been debunked. So that's good. I'm glad I looked it up. John Wayne did not have 40 pounds impacted in his intestines. Okay, that's good to know because people have been saying that. So I'm glad I looked it up to get the fact. So that's a rumor. They saying it's a rumor. Some thought it was because he ate too much red meat. So they saying it's a rumor. So we can say it's a rumor, but They saying it's a rumor, but we can't really prove if it's a rumor or not. Very interesting. But diabetes is through the roof. Colon cancer is through the roof. And the people ain't learning fast enough. And then people is sick left and right. And then the people that's sick, they're not going viral. The parties is going viral. The barbecues is going viral. The colon cancer, the diabetes, that's not going viral. So nobody don't really realize we had a 911. They not gonna probably say we had a 911 until colon cancer dropped down to in the 30s. Because it's already in the 40s, so it's really already a 911. Actually, but they don't. I guess I understand they don't want to mess their money up. You know, they don't want to mess their money up. So I can understand that. They're like, if we push this, it's who's going to replace these businesses? This is gonna destroy our businesses. So they between a rock and a hard place because they can't really tell you and scare you and damage the economy because the economy is making a lot of money off of this food, a whole lot of money off of this food. Seriously. So they can't tell you nothing. I guess I understand it. But it's a 911 because he passed away in his 40s, which means he had it in his 30s. That's what it means. That's what it means. It means he had it in his 30s, something that people didn't get until their 60s. Look, 76, 86, 96, 2006. Look, 86, 96, 2006, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. He was 44 years old. 44 years old, passed away with colon cancer for only 44. And it takes colon cancer quite a while to go from stage 1 to stage 4 and 5. So that means if he was 44, that means he started getting colon cancer in his late 30s. That don't sound right. And that means if he got colon cancer in his late 30s and then it unalived him in 2020, that means that the rate is dropping. So that means more and more people is getting it in their 30s, and in their early 30s is next. In their early 30s is next. That's what's next. And that's not frightening to nobody, which is frightening. Because next is next is the early 30s. What else could it be? Like what else could it be but the early 30s? Just think about it. And this holiday coming up, And they're going to still be on that. Heavy. It's like a losing war. It's like a whole bunch of people don't even know. Look, colorectal cancer is now a leading killer of young adults. Now that's really frightening because when I was growing up, you ain't never heard about no young people having nothing like that. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. It's sad. And when I'm on social media, I just be shaking my head because they just pushing all trash food. And they just pushing it like, oh, it tastes good. Go over here, they got some good food. That's how they pushing it. And good food don't mean healthy food. It mean good food we put it in your mouth. But they're being programmed for that to taste like that. It's not as good as what they think, but they taste buds, they have programmed your taste buds and your craving. So once they control your craving and your taste buds, you gone. When you eat unnatural food, natural food it tastes nasty. And when you eat natural food, unnatural food tastes nasty. You just got to do it long enough. Like me, I can't eat no Cheetos and stuff like that. It's going to be like, oh, what the heck is this? It's not going to taste good. The only people that tempted to go back and do that is people that have been vegans like 5, 6 years. Right? Because it takes 7 years to purify your body. So now when you get to the 7th year and you purifying your body, you almost be like a vampire. Because now it's finally leaving your system, and there's energy into your system that's been eating it and living off of it. So that energy wants some more. So it's pressuring you to fall off the way you eat and just fall off a little bit just so we can get some more. And if you fall off and eat something, let's say you're trying to go plant-based, you don't eat no meat for 18 months. You're trying to clean out. And you've been cutting back. Not you ain't ate none, but you've been cutting back. Now you to the 18th month where from the 17th month, you actually stop. So it took you 17 months to stop, and now you're in month 18. And as your body getting clean, you're going to crave it more and more and more. Like when people get off substances. When they get off substances, the cleaner they get, the more they start fiending. And my personal belief is as it's leaving your system, you start to crave it. Because I remember one day we was way in Hawaii, up in the mountains. I haven't had no meat or no pizza or nothing like that in it's got to be like 1985, 86. So I ain't had nothing like that in like 8 years, right? 7 years. It probably was 7 years. And we sitting there and we talking. And the next thing I know, we talking about pizza and all this stuff. And then when I caught us, I said, you know what? Why is we talking about pizza and all this stuff? And then it came to me. The reason I was talking about it, because it was all finna finally come out of my body. So now it's calling me. Because it's gonna call the most when you're about to finally purge. That's when it's gonna be trying to hold on to you like, no. And it's gonna be trying to get you to eat it again. Because once you eat it again, now you gotta wait a whole nother 7 years before you actually purge. Because you get all new blood cells, it's gonna take 7 years. So as you finally trying to get these really finally don't have none of that in your new blood cells, that's when the craving gonna be the highest. Because I'm like, why is we talking about this? We ain't ate this in years. Because we was talking about it because it was coming out of our system. like a junkie. So now you need a fix and you don't even realize it. So that's why you don't be clean, and that's why it's hard for you to stay like that, because you're gonna have to do 7 years before you really don't want it no more. Because anytime in there, you're gonna still be having the cravings because it's still in your DNA and all that. You got to go 7 years to get that out your whole body, your DNA and all that. Real talk, because it's addictive. And then it's addictive because this is what you're used to eating. And it's also addictive because these are scientists and they got to sell this stuff. So they'll do stuff to this stuff just to make you have to buy it because it's the Food and Drug Administration. I always used to ask myself, what the drugs got to do with the food? And they make you think, oh, we got to give the chickens some shots so they don't get bird flu or they get sick. But it's more to it than that. So here we got this summertime coming, and they pushing this heavy. Potential causes of overeating in summer. Changes in routine. Summer often brings disruptions to daily routines, such as vacations and holidays, which can affect meal planning and lead to increased snacking or impulse eating. Social gathering and food centric events. Summer gatherings like barbecues, picnics, and parties can be challenging for managing food intake due to the increased exposure to various food options and potential peer pressure. Emotional eating, overreacting, can sometimes be linked to emotional factors like stress, boredom, and anxiety, which can be heightened during the summer months due to changes in schedule or routine. Mindless eating, distractions like watching TV or using screens while eating can lead to consuming more food than intended. Skipping meals, restricting meals is an attempt to lose weight. In an attempt to lose weight may result in intense hunger and overeating later in the day. Heat stress and dehydration. While hot weather generally reduces appetite, dehydration or heat stress can sometimes be mistaken for hunger, leading to an overconsumption of less healthy options. And lastly, craving cold, sugary treats. The desire for cold, sweet foods like ice cream and sugary drinks to cool down can lead to increased calorie intake. So it's like some type of sick medicine. You know what I'm saying? That just got people just 100% addicted. It's absolutely insane. 10 foods to avoid in hot weather: fried food, spicy foods, excessive dairy products, carbonated drinks, heavy metals, processed snacks, excessive alcohol, caffeine, high sugar threats, salty foods. This is serious, y'all. This is really serious. This is really not no joke. This is serious as serious get. If they get us hooked on the food, they got us. Food that prevent heat stroke. Look, So they already know they got these food places stashed everywhere. And if you ain't strong and you're going to be careful where you're going to be at, you're going to definitely fall off. After the 4th of July, you're going to see all these black Americans walking around with these coconuts. The water beating Ben went bad. Once you open the coconut, you got to drink that water right then. Now, these countries that's tripping, they ain't going to care. They're going to suggest that all their people come home and eat what they want them to eat. That's what they're going to be on. And I'm telling you, you young generation, you finna see a health crisis like you've never seen before. Because you got a bunch of young brothers coming up, and some of them, they don't know that ties in with this. They don't know that it's all tied in. We don't know why y'all beefing like that. I seen one brother, he said, why they mess with me? I'm in my neighborhood. Somebody called him because they was having a fight. But he a slim rapper, so everybody, tried to make it like, stay out of jail, do this, do that. But when he drove off, I go home. Who you think I see coming through the front door? Him. So it's like they pushing that bad food hard, real hard. They're pushing it. And so instead of us pushing to be able to help change somebody, we just got to be constantly putting up a resistance because they're trying to push for you to keep eating that more than vegans and plant-based and alkaline people is pushing to do that. They pushing harder. It's crazy. And they be knowing you ain't gonna survive the push because a lot of them that's got their little health food and stuff like that, they ain't at home selling that stuff. They might got their company do it on their own, but they somewhere else. They ain't strong as what they selling. Or take a different type of strong. So look, y'all got to take care of these children. And as a parent, you're gonna have to make a decision. Because if your sons and daughters keep getting big and then they hit college without no kind of change, it's going to be a disaster. All right? So, look, y'all stay positive all the time. And all the time, stay positive. Because if you don't stay positive, who else will? Victory.